Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world, it's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from the palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
And the top of the morning to you and yours on this Thursday, October the 7th.
I am ready to be back on the air. I am bursting with all new provocative takes on things.
Thank you very much for that.
I'd say that was a pretty successful broadcast.
We always have a successful broadcast. What are you talking about?
What's Daddy doing?
Well, Daddy is not doing too much. You're not my child, so please don't say that, all right? It is 6:07 on the Get Up and Go show. Let's certify.
Now, 6:07 a.m.
Boy, am I fired. You already know the reason why I'm fired up this morning.
Yeah. Like that orange shirt you're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a great big ball of sunshine.
Yep. I am fired up this morning and man, I don't know how to put this. I'm just going to just straightforward. I'm not playing ping pong in the tournament. Pretty straightforward. And I know Taryn Krista was looking forward to coming out and hanging out and a bunch of other people. And now it got taken away from us, but not by Martin County.
I wonder if it really got taken away, or maybe they're going to find a new venue. Maybe a new venue for this, or is it kind of late to do so? I know they got to get things up and running to, pick, like, is it the five top people or the top person from that competition?
Well, it's the top five from all the people. And there was only a dozen people from what I was told yesterday by the gentleman that called me. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, the Martin County is having what's called their senior games. And one of the things is the ping pong tournament. And the ping pong tournament was supposed to be held, and this is public knowledge, so I can say where it was going to be. It was going to be held at a place called Kings Isle up in St. Lucie West.
Yes, I pass that establishment all the time.
The reason for Kings Isle is because they have more than one ping pong table. Now, I've already, I'll get to that in a moment. So I got a call yesterday, very nice gentleman, and said, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the ping pong tournament there. And I said, well, why? And he says, well, they don't want non-residents in there. And then I received an email also from him that stated, let me find the email here. Here's from David. It stated, I was informed by Kings Isle Community Development, the host venue for the table tennis competition, that due to the recent COVID outbreak, they are not allowing non-residents in their clubhouse. So non-residents can't go in the clubhouse. So that just doesn't make sense to me, because the people that live there, they go out in the everyday world. They're going out shopping. They're going out here. They're going out there. And they're doing everything. And they're coming back and they're going in their clubhouse. So it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. It just doesn't make sense. Well, so now we have nowhere to play ping pong.
I understand that a clubhouse and the association can and will make their own rules.
Of course.
And, you got to respect that. It's just kind of like, came up like really fast on this competition. I wonder why, if it was organized or planned to be there all this time.
Well, because they said they would have it there. They said they would host it. They approved it.
But why the turnaround then also suddenly? And you're supposed to get started on Monday. And that's kind of like a mystery. And it's kind of like, where are they going to put the ping pong tables now, or find a place with so many tables to play on?
Yeah, and I called around to a bunch of places, but they only have, like, I called the Boys and Girls Clubs. I reached out to them. I reached out to Mitch Chlorophane, and I said, hey, can you help me out? And unfortunately, the Boys and Girls Club only has one table in their facility. So it's kind of hard when you have a dozen guys that are supposed to do a round robin tournament with one table. Yeah. My gosh, you'll have to bring breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack and a bed to sleep to do that with just one table.
Maybe you could change it to billiards. Maybe I didn't see billiards in the competition. You could find taverns and bars to play in everywhere. Yeah.
I think they, I don't know if they would do that because of liability with alcohol and things like that. People may want to drink. So they're, that's probably why, but that's a great idea. Billiards is a great idea. I'll have to make that suggestion to them, but man, just to pull the carpet right out from under our feet is just, I just don't understand. It just doesn't make sense.
And you had been really psyched up about this too for days. You got really pumped up about this.
I mean, I went out and bought ping pong paddles and ping pong balls, and I started training and started practicing.
Wow.
And I'm not making sense of this because they don't want anybody in the clubhouse because of COVID. So does that mean they close the clubhouse completely to everybody? I don't understand.
Well, this brings it to a memory of a question we asked of Joe Catchinbone too at one time.
Yeah.
Where even the Martin County Chamber of Commerce might plan an event and organize this event for months where all of a sudden it's kind of like out of their hands if all of a sudden the venue where they had planned that event to be at, all of a sudden, might have to shut their doors because of their concerns for the health and COVID-19. I'm kind of comparing it to that.
Yeah, Dan Como he's listening this morning. He's a former athletic director at Treasure Coast High, and he just messaged me, said Treasure Coast High School has multiple ping pong tables. When he was there as the athletic director, doesn't know if they have them anymore, but that'd be a great place to do it inside the gym at Treasure Coast High School. But then that gets into a whole school board thing, and you have to get a school board permit and all this other stuff. There's a lot of hoops to jump.
Channels and hoops.
Yeah. Boy. But it's a great idea. It's an excellent idea.
Can you play any ping pong outdoors?
Of course you can.
I mean,
of course you can.
Maybe there's an outside area venue. Maybe out on I was going to mention high school track area or something, but then that's getting back into high school. Maybe a park. Yeah. Maybe an outside park.
The thing is, we need like at least 3 or 4 tables to be able to pull this off. And I called probably 3 or 4 different places. I even reached out to the Mets where I work at.
Yeah.
And because I know the players, they have ping pong tables there, and the players, they play ping pong, in their off time. And unfortunately, the ping pong tables are no longer there. Otherwise, that would have been a great place.
Why don't we call Tradition? I drove out to Tradition last night, and I noticed all of that vast open space, that big land that's undeveloped to the west.
Yeah, it's not a matter of it's not a matter of a place or I mean, we need a venue, but it's finding a venue that's got like 3 or 4 tables. So we can play.
Or a venue.
12 guys.
Yeah, because is it too late to find tables to set up in a venue? I mean,
the venue has to have the tables. That's the whole
have
thing.
Them equipped with it already.
So,
wow.
Yeah, so it looks like
boy,
I'm gonna search around today a little bit more.
Or you could change your course of action and go in track and field.
No, I'm not running.
Go in that event.
I'm not running. I can't run.
Can you bowl? The bowling event.
I almost said a word.
Is there any downhill skiing? Can we
sure. Let me bring in 50,000 tons of snow and we'll just ski right along.
We'll hold this event up in northern Wisconsin. I'll get on the phone and get a hold of my people and see we need a skiing event covered up there.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just move the whole damn tournament up to Wausau or Kenosha, wherever the heck it is you're from. We'll just have the whole thing up in Wisconsin. Sure, we'll get everybody plane tickets and we'll just take the show on the road. Why not?
Didn't you say there's a ice skating venue now to the north of us? There is one.
I think somewhere in Vero. I'm not sure.
Vero or Sebastian?
Yeah. No, I'm not doing ice skating.
Melbourne?
Either. No, I'm not doing ice skating.
I thought you like ice skating.
I do. I did it I did it ages ago, but these bones are too fragile now. Are you kidding? Man, if I fall down on the ice, the ice is going to crack and I'm going to throw a hip, and we can't afford to have that happen.
To be honest with you, Evan, I can't do ice skating either.
Yeah.
I remember getting into skates even when I was a kid, and I would get into those skates and my ankles and my feet would start to shake.
Yeah.
I can ski, like downhill ski.
Yeah.
But ice skating, that's another level.
Yeah. So if anybody out there listening this early in the morning happens to know of a clubhouse or a establishment that has a couple of ping pong tables that 12 guys that are over the age of 50 years old, senior citizens that are actually over the age of 55, I qualify, I'm 61, I used to hate saying I was a senior citizen.
Oh yeah.
But dang it, I'm proud now.
You should be.
I should be. That's
Yeah.
right.
You're
So
getting out, you're healthy and doing things.
Yeah, if anybody knows of any place that has ping pong tables, reach out to us here at the program. There's lots of ways. You can call us 220-9788. You can email wstmorningshow@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We broadcast live. Reach out, and I'll pass the information over to David at Martin County Parks and Rec.
And you mentioned Dan Como to
Yeah,
Evan. I believe he's broadcasting our high school football
Yeah.
games. And tomorrow can be heard Sebastian at Port St. Lucie. And the game time starting at 6:45. And Dan Como and company, they do a great job with the broadcasts. And 6:45 can be heard on WPSL and WSTU tomorrow night.
By the way, Dan just messaged again. He goes, there's a ice skating rink up in Rockledge is where it is. It's to the north of us. And he plays hockey, believe it or not. And he's, he's 67 years old and he plays hockey.
He's great on ice skates then.
Yeah.
Plus hockey, you got to be not only agile on those ice skates, you got to be you have to have some stamina to do the hockey.
Man, my hat goes off to Dan. If you're watching, Dan, hats off to you, buddy, for ice skating and playing hockey at 67 years old.
Absolutely. I wonder where we can catch him in a game. It would be fun to go witness that.
I'd love to see Dan on skates.
Yes, I would.
That'd be hilarious.
I mean, and
then post the video.
And hockey playing, I mean, I wonder if he's playing with guys that are, how old is he, in like his mid something?
He is
I think you just mentioned, but I'm not sure.
67.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, these guys are they're and playing hockey.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. By the way, hi Freddie. Welcome into the show. Thank you very much. And yes, Bonnie likes clapping. Freddie wrote, Bonnie's still clapping. And I'm like, yes, Bonnie loves to clap. Bonnie claps. That's right. Bonnie loves to clap. Dang it. And you better not pick on my Bonnie for clapping because she loves to clap.
I don't know why that's such a habit. Is that an Italian thing too?
I don't know. Hey, you know what I'm talking about? Hey, forget about it. You talk with your hands. People talk with their hands. Do that again, and I do it all the time.
Do that Italian once again, and
hey, how you doing? What are you talking about? Hey, come over here.
Only for Facebook.
Forget about it. Anyway, but no, people talk. Some people, if this is true, and I've tried this with other people. People cannot talk unless they move their hands. It's proven.
Expression. It's
exactly
sign language.
Exactly,
which is it's a good, beautiful thing when sign language is needed.
Yeah,
and you can make those hand signals.
Exactly.
I had a deaf Dalmatian dog, so the dog is deaf, right? She can't hear.
Okay,
but we taught her tricks through hand signals.
Okay.
She could understand hand signals and speak and go fetch.
Okay.
And things like that. Smart dog.
Yeah.
Deaf, but teachable because of the signals.
Yeah. By the way, I wanted to clarify something too. In my rant that I talked about with the ping pong, I wanted to clarify. This is not Martin County doing this. I want people to understand this is not Martin County canceling the ping pong. Martin County in no way, shape, or form is canceling it. It's Kings Isle is not allowing us there. So because I don't want Martin County getting mad at me for saying, the wrong thing. So it's not Martin County that canceled it. It was Kings Isle.
Every time I go past Kings Isle, I want to, jump out of my car out there and take a swim.
Yeah. Well,
with that big, beautiful pond they have out there.
Yeah. Well, no comment there on Kings Isle.
Is that the right development that I'm thinking of? I think that's Kings Isle with a big, beautiful pond, and
it's in St. Lucie West,
beachfront out there.
Yeah, it's in St. Lucie West. So anyway, so that's my rant for this morning. Sorry I took up so much time. It is 6:21. Let's see, Bonnie, can you do the news without moving your hands at all this morning? Can you just sit on your hands and do the news?
It could happen.
No, I'm just kidding.
It could be possible.
I'm just teasing. 6:21 right now. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk. Bonnie is standing by with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Port St. Lucie police are investigating a deadly shooting that happened late Tuesday night. WPTV's Derek Lowe has more.
This case just absolutely devastating for loved ones. After speaking with friends of Gabriella Hanley tonight, many of them expressing that they're just too overwhelmed with the grief to put into words.
It's really sad for the family. It's just so unfortunate, senseless.
Right now, Port St. Lucie investigators are trying to pin down just who's responsible for the late night attack that killed 20-year-old Gabriella Hanley.
I called 911 and asked them what was going on, if it was safe for me to go out of my house.
Neighbors nearby say they heard multiple shots fired just after 11:30 Tuesday night near Green River Parkway and Charleston Drive.
It's shocking. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I've been here for 13 years and I've never seen anything around here.
Officers say Gabriella's boyfriend was also shot to the hospital.
The male victim is currently in stable condition, and he is cooperating with investigators.
Police say they believe the attack was targeted, but have not elaborated. No arrests have yet been made.
We believe the vehicle at some point was followed by the suspects, and gunfire was opened on the vehicle. I encourage you to contact the Port St. Lucie Police Department at 772-871-5000.
And officers refusing to release the name of Gabriella's boyfriend to us this evening. One area of focus, though, as they continue their investigation, combing through that car currently being held here at the Port St. Lucie Police Department. We're live in Port St. Lucie. Derek Lowe, WPTV, News Channel 5.
Vaccination rates of Hispanic people are lower than overall numbers in Florida as well as nationally amid a research study that shows misinformation and medical distrust are major drivers of getting the shots. A total of 2,249,848 Hispanics 12 and older in Florida have been fully vaccinated, including 2,089,929 white, 85,224 Black, and 74,695 other, according to data from the weekly state health department report released on Friday. Some Florida school districts are reporting thousands of students whose whereabouts remain unknown. WPTV's Contact 5 investigator Katie Legrone with the story.
It's a little known, rarely talked about byproduct of the pandemic.
There are students that we literally cannot find.
And it's still hitting nearly every Florida school district.
There are yes, and kids that actually never came.
For some districts, the number of students who have fallen off the school grid and haven't shown up to class remains in the thousands.
Approximately under 2,000 students.
Probably about 10,000.
10,000 students in Broward County alone who the district currently can't find.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot, yeah.
It's an issue that isn't entirely new to schools. Students move out of cities, the state, or even the country all the time and don't always let their schools know. But when the pandemic forced schools to close and many households to lose their incomes, some students never returned back to campus, contributing to the state's overall decline in student enrollment, which was down 3% last year.
It's unfortunate that the circumstances became this dire for families that these kids aren't in school.
The problem of lost students in Florida has become so concerning. In a letter to school districts last spring, the state Speaker of the House urged districts to work with every available resource to locate these missing children. We have a moral obligation to not allow any of these children to slip through the cracks, he stated. And this year, the state started requiring districts report how many unaccounted students they have, including those whose whereabouts remain unknown.
We do know from past history, some of these students, due to circumstances, have left the country, had to take on some really difficult, tough situations.
With some 2,000 students still missing in Palm Beach County, the district has teamed up with the state attorney, child welfare, and the Department of Juvenile Justice to find its lost students. Social workers and case managers are being hired to help. And for the first time, the district has even hired an outside firm whose focus will be to hunt down these missing students.
Do you believe that most of them are in the district, or that they've left state, left country?
I think that's $1 million question, right?
Once students are found, getting them back to the classroom may not be so easy. The district preparing to take drastic measures if necessary.
If we find families and parents are refusing to send their kids to school, that we do have to put a truancy packet together and to take these parents to court to let them know these kids do need to be in school. We hope we won't have to get to this point.
For now, the focus is finding these students and getting them back to learning, however and wherever that might be.
We are not in the blame game. This is about support, figure it out, get to the root cause, get the support in place, and get a family back on track.
Part of the search has and continues to be literally knocking on doors to find these students and get them back to learning, even if it means extending school hours for some of them, especially if they're holding down jobs. Katie LeGrone, WPTV News Channel 5.
The owner of a pool construction company that has been the source of customer complaints across the Treasure Coast was taken into custody late Tuesday, accused of defrauding $2 million from over 100 customers. Amore Pool's owner, Crystal Washburn, age 39, concocted a scheme to defraud homeowners by taking large deposits to build in-ground residential swimming pools, but never completed the projects, according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, which announced the charges Wednesday. Washburn faces 16 charges, including 7 counts of identity fraud, 4 counts of money laundering, insurance fraud, contracting without a license, false statement of compliance, and scheme to defraud. Washburn, who lives in the 8300 block of 99th Court, was being held in lieu of $1.2 million bail at the Indian River County Jail Wednesday. Her husband, who has identified himself as an employee, also was charged. Brian Washburn, age 34, of the 200 block of Columbus Street in Sebastian, faces 16 counts, including organized scheme to defraud. Lastly, for the first time, 90 recreational anglers fishing in some parts of Florida will be allowed to take home a Goliath grouper for dinner. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission voted without dissent Wednesday to approve proposed new rules for a highly regulated limited harvest of the gentle giants. When final approval comes at its March 2022 meeting, harvest could begin as early as 2023. The fish live in estuaries as juveniles, then move to reefs, rocky jetties, and bridges in deep waters as adults, which can weigh 300 to 400 pounds. They have been protected in state and federal waters since 1990, when they were deemed to be overfished. The LA Dodgers have defeated the St. Louis Cardinals 3-1 for the wild card spot and will face the San Francisco Giants in the National League Division Series on Friday for Game 1. News time 6:29. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
.30 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie, how's the first look outside this morning?
It looks smoky, Evan. Smoky out there as there's a prescribed burn in the area of Hope Sound. And this is on the I-95 southbound area, right around mile marker 94. Use caution due to the smoke prescribed burn. No accidents. And there's your latest look at traffic. Port St. Lucie right now has 74, and in Santa Marta, Columbia this morning, a warm 80. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 70s under partly cloudy skies and some showers brushing the coastline. This afternoon, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, heat index values reaching the upper 90s to triple digits. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day with a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms, mainly inland. Friday, morning showers towards the coast with more clouds moving in, then scattered afternoon showers and storms with highs in the upper 80s.
I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
It is 6:33 on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for viral videos. All right, so man, this one is a good one, Bonnie. There's a reporter out of KSLA, Channel 12 in Shreveport, Louisiana. She was at a gas station recently, this past Monday, asking people what they do if they won $685 million in the Powerball jackpot.
Wouldn't you like to wake up in the morning and have that to think about? If that was all you had to think about? How can I spend this 6 point some million?
Gal's name is Corey Johnson. Very, very professional reporter. I watched the video. And she's interviewing first the lady behind the counter. And then she turns to the guy that's standing there. And here's the audio. Listen.
What are you going to do with that money if you win?
Well, I'm definitely going to get a new supercharged Mustang with dual exhaust and about 5 kilos of cocaine, and I'll be good to go.
Okay, so you like cars. You like cars.
No, he likes cars and cocaine, honey.
I love the way that she's so professional because she just diverted away from the whole cocaine thing.
Yeah, I guess she did. But I mean, he said that loud and clearly, and I don't know how she didn't avoid that.
Oh, you never know what you're going to get on live television.
I'll take the souped up Mustang minus the cocaine.
I thought of you when I heard that, when he said souped up Mustang. And then when he said cocaine, I'm like, well, you don't need anything to soup up the Mustang, so take your cocaine and go home.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And he'll be up for days driving that Mustang on the cocaine and driving it very fast, I'm sure.
Oh, my gosh. Remember H.H. Gregg? They used to be over here at the Treasure Coast Mall electronics store.
I liked that store.
Yeah, they never made it, unfortunately.
I bought a DVD player from them back in the day. And who else used to be in that store was Borders Books, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right in that corner. And I liked it when it was Borders also.
Right next door was Borders Books, actually.
Was it next door?
Yeah, it was right next door. Literally, you had H.H. Gregg.
Okay.
You walked down a little further, and Borders was right there on the left.
Oh, I thought Borders was in that same big, like, kind of corner unit. I could have sworn.
They were together, but I think H.H. I don't know. It was so long ago. I can't remember. I'm not sure.
They were
they were over in that general area.
And they were both really good stores. I miss both of them, really.
There's a video from last summer that's now making the rounds. It's a commercial for a store called H.H. Gregg, and it features an announcer doing brilliant double speaking. Instead of tent, he says Tehentins. In other words, he's double talking. And a gas lantern is Gasolazalenin.
I think we can presume that he's saying it this way because H.H. Gregg is spelling the words this way with double letters or some sort of
thing.
But
it's just a little weird.
It's something in the way the words are spelled.
Here, listen to it.
H.H. Gregg is having a summer sale. We've got all the hot new camp amping equipment in it, such as Tenhentens, Gasolassel Lan Anaturns, Marsharsha Melmel Roasted Toastos, and Sleepy Bag Agos. But how about our Sport Horde and Goodlingtons? We've got Baskatchewans, Slam Donkey. We also have a great babaitoning and tackle-ackle section, the fishing rod oddles, Nanetses, and don't forget, Speedening Bodo and Engines. H.H. Gregg, where the temp temperature earns is never hotter than our propriceness.
It's cute.
How the heck do you understand a commercial on television like that?
But maybe, when usually I'm doing the dishes or I'm cleaning up my kitchen, and sometimes those kind of ads will draw my attention.
Uh-huh.
And, then you just got to look like, what are they advertising? So maybe it'll at least, make you look at it.
Yeah.
But upon hearing it, it sounds very cartoonish.
It is.
I like the tackle-ackle-ackling.
It just is not right. There's another video of a ring bearer. Okay. Now, G and I were in the wedding business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Both of you guys.
Right. We see weddings all the time. And when I officiate a wedding as a minister, I always tell the couple, if they have a ring bearer, don't put the real rings on the pillow, because disaster
especially
is
if
going to
it's
happen.
a silky one. Those rings tend to slide right off of there. No.
Yep. Well, even if you're going to tie them with the little silky thread they give you on the pillow, don't put the real rings on the pillow.
It could be a disaster, right?
It's disaster.
One could be losing rings.
Thank you very much for saying that.
And you're going to have a very unhappy bride-to-be.
Well, there's a video of a little kid walking down a boardwalk with slats in the wood. Kid drops the pillow, and guess what happened?
And this is like a really, really little tiny kid, isn't it?
Listen.
This is a boy.
And you hear the crowd go nuts. The crowd just gasped.
Yeah. And, they didn't show the end of that video. We're seeing that the rings kind of went beneath the floorboard
And the
cracks,
slats,
which
yeah.
they have to maybe get out and saw the boards out, or maybe slide their arm underneath it.
I think there was
get
water
them.
underneath.
But I think
I'm not sure. I'm looking at it again. I'm not playing the audio. It's can you tell if it's on a lake somewhere or it's really hard to tell, but the lady jumps down to her knees and is looking in the slats for the rings. And the little boy just drops the pillow and he just turns around and just walks away nonchalantly like nothing happened.
Maybe the ending is the little boy is the savior of the day, and he can, get his little tiny hands through those slats through there and recover the rings.
I don't know.
I think the story does say, it doesn't show it on the video, but
Right.
they do say that they were able to retrieve the rings somehow.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so for the bride and groom's sake.
Oh yeah.
Because man, those rings are expensive.
Yeah, and then how can you reprimand the little boy? He's just a little boy carrying those rings. Like you said, you shouldn't do it on a pillow, but a tiny little ute.
Yeah.
And bringing up the rings, and there they go.
Yeah, I always tell my clients, put faux rings on the pillow and keep the real rings with the best man in a box.
Smart.
Because the pillow is just there for a visuality for pictures.
I
That's
like
all
that.
it is.
The best man being the keeper of the rings.
Yep.
But
Do
you
it all
gotta
the time.
You got to trust that best man too, and
Yep.
we don't want any stupid news where the best man takes off with some rings.
Oh, I've seen that happen also
You've seen it
before.
all?
Oh, I've seen it where the best man was given the rings and he left them back at the hotel
Oh wow.
and there were no rings.
Yeah, you got to, write that little Post-it note on in your hotel room.
Mhm.
Got to write it on your refrigerator.
For
Remember
sure.
that important thing.
Only 11. Did you know that I had to read this right. Did you know that only 11 US states have just one area code? Have just one area code. I heard they're changing an area code in Florida. Or no, I'm sorry. My bad. I read a news article that they're making it mandatory that you have to dial 772 now before the phone number here on the Treasure Coast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
you have
thought
to dial 772.
I thought with some numbers we had to do that for a while.
If you have a 772 phone number, you could just dial the 7 digits and get through.
I know I've done that in the past.
Yeah, but now they're going to be making that mandatory because something to do with the area codes around.
So some states only do have one area
Just
code.
one area code.
Maybe there's some of like the tinier
Mhm.
states.
I remember in South Florida when I moved down in South Florida, everything was 305. And
Even
then
like Palm Beach
Yeah.
and up here going
Well,
north.
it was Palm Beach South.
Oh, okay.
Palm Beach South, Jupiter South was 305. And then because the population started coming up, they added 954 into that mix.
Oh, so it might not even
they
have to do
split.
with area. Like I'm thinking, it probably has to do with population.
Yeah, they
like you're saying.
split. They split Dade County and gave Dade County 305, and Broward and Palm Beach was 954.
Mhm.
Then again, they went to because of population.
Yeah.
They did another area code and made Palm Beach 561.
561 is weird because that's where I grew up in rural northern Wisconsin. 561 was not our area code, but it was the first 3 digits of our 7-digit phone number.
Ah, okay.
And our area code had been 715.
Gotcha.
561. Dun, 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 dun.
Do you remember your area?
I was going to repeat
phone
my
number?
mom's old phone number.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
yeah. I'll
Okay.
remember that number for some numbers you just never forget.
Oh, okay.
I can remember numbers from when I was a kid, like when I called my little friends, my pals on the phone. I can sometimes remember old boyfriends' phone numbers.
Oh, wow.
I'm like the Rain Man, where only I can't remember your number, Evan.
Really?
Because I never had to dial it.
I honestly, I don't know your phone number either.
With this new day and age, I just look up your name or your name in my email or my text, and that's how I dial. So I never had to remember your number.
Yeah, I don't. I have no idea what your phone number is. I just
No?
look up Bonnie, and that's it. It
And
says
back
co-host.
in the day, we
Press a
remembered
button and
phone
boom.
numbers.
Yep, got a phone call
Yeah.
real quick. Let me press this button here. Hold on, if I can get it to. There we go. Oh, all right. Oh, I thought I had a phone call. I must be seeing things. There we go. I must be seeing things because the little light
I
was
thought
blinking.
I saw that too, though.
Oh, there it is.
I
It's
could have
blinking
sworn
again.
I've seen it.
All right, here we go. Press this button. And good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Wow, 6:45 in the morning. This is a little early for you.
It is.
Are you feeling okay?
She's getting in practice for when she has to come here on Monday.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Are you practicing?
Well, it's my coffee day, and I'm getting to work early to get some stuff done.
That's awesome then.
Hey, by the way, I need to send you to driving school.
I realized how I parked when I walked in my car this morning.
Wow. Talk about me having issues getting my vehicle out of the driveway this morning.
Did she kind of take up the whole space and do
She
it at an
parked
angle?
sideways.
Yeah, I don't. Gary's been doing that lately too. He's
Instead
been
of backing
parking,
straight
like,
in
the middle.
it was like this.
Strange, right?
Yeah, where the front of her car was like
It
tilted
wasn't
to the right.
completely taking up the whole driveway. It would just require you maneuvering to the right a little
Yeah, I
bit.
had to drive on the grass to get out.
Yeah, I've had to do that this week too with him.
What's up
it's
with
funny
that?
you're having that same
So,
problem, Evan. And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
Imagine me moving my big truck around Gavin's car when he parks in front of me in the driveway.
Well, just tell him to park in the grass. That's all. Just run the damn thing over. That's all.
Well, no, I usually leave enough space that I can literally back up I leave the garage door open and I back up
Mm-hmm.
just close enough to the house, and then I can usually go out right around.
Yeah, I got up this morning, Bonnie. I walked out of the
Yeah.
house at 4 this morning. I looked, I'm like, the heck she was drinking last night.
I know, right? It's making me wonder. Not that you drink, Rachel, but Gary too. The way he's been parking lately, I have to maneuver my car around.
Maybe we should send
It-
Gary and Rachel to an intervention for parking. That might just work. Who knows?
Well,
Maybe
the
I'll have
reason
a.
I was calling, Evan, is
Yeah.
you forgot an area code. There was another area code before it was 561.
What was it?
407.
Oh, that's right. You know what? Rachel is 150% right.
Oh, yeah.
Because now that you mention it, when I used to manage Atlanta Skateway, that's right. It was 407.
407.
That's right. 407 was Palm. That's right. Because the Treasure Coast was also 407.
Oh,
It was
okay.
407 all the way from Palm Beach north all the way up to Orlando.
Oh man,
And
that's
then
a big vicinity. That's a
and
big
then
range.
they moved 407 up to Orlando area, and they gave Palm Beach 561.
All right.
Yeah.
All righty then.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. You're 100% right.
The only reason I remember is I remember knowing my home telephone number and then having to learn a new prefix.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that because the skating rink was 407-964-4300.
So you remember that number? You had to call
That's
that
crazy.
time and time again.
That's crazy
Yeah.
how I remember. I remember my number in New York when I was a child at 10 years old, it was 212-271-4676.
Wow.
That was the phone number to my house in New York.
It's
when
funny
I was
when
10.
I just
remember
remembered
my home phone number from
what's
when
that?
I was a kid.
What's that, Rachel?
I remember my home phone number when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's just like one of those numbers. Like
Do you
never
remember
forget.
yours, Bonnie?
Oh yeah,
when
of
you were a
course.
child?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
My grandma's too. My grandma Ruha, my mom's mom. I don't know why. I just maybe never called her as much as Grandma Bucanero.
Mhm.
But I remember Grandma's phone number too.
Wow. It's amazing certain things, how we really, truly remember them.
We do.
Definitely. Hey, got to run. We got to get to news. I'll talk to you later.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye. 6:48 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin for the best deals in town. It's always St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Bonnie standing by with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning. Port St. Lucie police are investigating a deadly shooting that happened late Tuesday night. WPTV's Derek Lowe has more.
Devastating for loved ones. After speaking with friends of Gabriella Hanley tonight, many of them expressing that they're just too overwhelmed with the grief to put into words.
It's really sad for the family. It's just so unfortunate, senseless.
Right now, Port St. Lucie investigators are trying to pin down just who's responsible for the late night attack that killed 20-year-old Gabriella Hanley.
So I called 911 and asked them what was going on, if it was safe for me to go out of my house.
Neighbors nearby say they heard multiple shots fired just after 11:30 Tuesday night near Green River Parkway and Charleston Drive.
It's shocking. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I've been here for 13 years and I've never seen anything around here that drastic.
Officers say Gabriella's boyfriend was also shot. He was rushed to the hospital.
The male victim is currently in stable condition, and he is cooperating with investigators.
Police say they believe the attack was targeted, but have not elaborated. No arrests have yet been made.
We believe the vehicle at some point was followed by the suspects, and gunfire was opened on the vehicle. If anybody has any information, I encourage you to contact the Port St. Lucie Police Department at 772-871-5000.
And officers refusing to release the name of Gabriella's boyfriend to us this evening. One area of focus, though, as they continue their investigation, combing through that car currently being held here at the Port St. Lucie Police Department. We're live in Port St. Lucie. Derek Lowe, WPTV, News Channel 5.
A Vero Beach woman convicted of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from tax clients is now a prisoner at a federal detention center in Miami, court records show. Last month, Jocelyn Antonio Lynch, age 40, who for 7 years held herself out as a professional who could help clients settle tax debts owed the Internal Revenue Service, was ordered to prison for more than 5 years during a hearing in Miami federal court. In April, Lynch pleaded guilty to 8 counts of wire fraud. She also was ordered to pay $867,593 in restitution to her 16 victims who Lynch targeted for fraud from 2013 to 2020 by keeping money unwitting clients paid her to resolve IRS debts, according to federal court filings. Federal prosecutors who wrote Lynch caused very significant psychological and financial harm to numerous victims held out little hope that money will ever be repaid. Lynch operated a tax settlement business out of her residence, and some of her victims were out-of-state clients, while others were friends and referrals living on the Treasure Coast. She was arrested in October 2020 following an investigation led by Marco Carrillo, a plantation-based special agent with the U.S. Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration. The Minnesota Supreme Court has denied former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin's request for a public defender. Chauvin, age 45, had requested a public defender to represent him while appealing his April conviction of killing George Floyd on Memorial Day of last year. The former police officer was sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison in June after being found guilty of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter for kneeling on the neck of Floyd for more than 9 minutes on May 25, 2020. A Florida lawmaker wants to improve state prisoner education programs and reduce recidivism rates as a result. WPTV's Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders with the story.
Pastor Greg James is one of many reformers working to improve Florida's prison system in the upcoming legislative session.
We just cannot place people in prison and throw away the key.
A former federal inmate himself, James is constantly pushing state lawmakers to make a change behind bars. He says it'll cut populations, ease stretches, and drop costs.
Prison has a direct impact on all of us.
Lawmakers like Senator Jeff Brandes listening.
We have beat the drum louder than anyone for the last 6 years in the legislature.
The St. Pete Republican is term limited after 2022, but before he goes, has an idea to improve prison education. He's working with the Florida Virtual School to create a justice education division
that would expand the resources of Florida Virtual and allow us to, in a very scalable way, provide educations to thousands and thousands of people that are incarcerated.
Brandis hopes it could improve skills like literacy, as about half of the state's 80,000 inmates can't read at the 6th grade level. It's a hurdle to finding work post-incarceration. It impacts Florida's recidivism rate, currently around 24%.
One of the primary factors of people being able to get a job when they leave the prison system and not committing new crimes is the ability to read. And yet we spend no money, no real resources on helping people learn to read.
Brandis hasn't filed any bill language yet, but there's plenty of time before lawmakers return in January. And advocates for change like
some ways to create some release.
Plan to keep up the pressure until then.
NFL legend Joe Namath has been spotted wearing a pink wig around Jupiter, but it's not a fashion statement. WPTV's Josh Navarro tells us why.
Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath is wearing a pink wig for the month of October in support of breast cancer awareness.
This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, man. That's the main reason. We want everyone to be aware what the situation is so we can help out.
It's part of the Susan G. Komen Foundation's Big Wigs campaign. It engages the community to join in the fight against breast cancer and ensure access to essential breast health services, education programs, and research to find cures. For Namath, the disease hits home.
I have a couple of daughters and granddaughters, and my mother went through the process, and thank God she survived and lived for several years after. So it starts at home.
Routine cancer screenings have since picked up, but still haven't reached pre-pandemic levels. A new survey from the Prevent Cancer Foundation shows 90% of women are visiting friends and going out to eat during the pandemic, but only 48% are visiting their doctor's offices.
5 cousins, actually, that have been impacted by breast cancer. And in just about all the cases, they got to it in time. But that means you have to get checked regularly, your physician, and do something about it.
To get people involved, Namath is donating an autographed pink New York Jets jersey as part of a raffle to raise funds for local breast cancer patients. There will be specialty drinks at all 4 venues at Love Street, with the proceeds going towards the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Pink all month long.
Just a good time to give back. We've been through so much together as a community, and this is a great opportunity to have a little fun.
And of course, the fundraiser will go all October 31st. In Jupiter, I'm Josh Navarro, WPTV News Channel 5.
And the LA Dodgers have defeated the St. Louis Cardinals 3-1 for the wild card spot and will face the San Francisco Giants in the National League Division Series. That game tomorrow night. Logan Webb is going to start for the San Francisco Giants in Game 1. And that game tomorrow night against the LA Dodgers. News time 6:58 with weather and traffic together next.
6:58. Let's get right to traffic. Here's Bonnie.
I-95 northbound in Stewart. There's an accident at mile and marker 101 northbound at Canner Highway on I-95 with no roadblock. Your latest look at traffic. 77 this morning in Stewart.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 70s under partly cloudy skies and some showers brushing the coastline. This afternoon, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, heat index values reaching the upper 90s to triple digits. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day with a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms.
Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world, it's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Oh, thank you very much, Madam Announcer. It is, what day is it? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? It's Thursday.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You all don't seem to understand how serious this is.
5, 6, 7, 8.
You're going to think it's real funny when the police get here.
9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 13. I don't know how many times it takes to get to the center. It's 7:07. Mr. Clock, would you certify?
It's now 7:07 a.m.
Bonnie, did we ever find out the actual amount of licks that it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop?
Yes, I do believe that wise old owl on that old Tootsie Pop commercial took 3 licks.
Okay.
And then I believe a wise old turtle came and did the licks too. And I believe it was a 1, a 2, a 3,
All right.
a 3.
All right, very good. We have a phone call this morning. Good morning. You're on the radio with Evan and Bonnie.
Okay, I've broken out of jail and I've got 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. It's Mark Hales, otherwise known as his alter ego, which is I've lost the private message. Let me find it.
It's Freddie Chevalier.
Yes, Shreddy Chevalier.
Don't tell everyone.
Yes, that's his alter
Don't
ego.
broadcast it,
Bonnie.
whatever you do.
I saw that and I thought it was pronounced Freddie Chevalier.
Chevalier.
Yeah.
Chevalier.
He's
There's
a
a long
sommelier.
story behind it.
So you're Freddie Chevalier then, who
Chevalier, yeah. Freddie Chevalier. There you go. That'll do.
Well, I never accepted your request because I didn't know who the hell you were.
No, I know. I've been busy messaging. I've been busy messaging everyone, and people keep saying, "I've just had a friend request from you. It's your picture, but it's not your name. What's going on?" Oh yeah, that's right.
Bonnie, the way you just said that was classic and epic.
But you get these weird requests, and I'm like Freddie Chevalier. That sounds like a bull rider from France or somewhere. And why is this guy requesting my friendship?
I can assure you, I'm not in France. I'm not French, and my name's not Freddie Chevalier. But shush! Don't tell everyone. Whatever you do, don't put it out on the airwaves. Oops.
So I have a question. Where in God's name did you come up with this alter ego name?
Okay, it's a long. I'll keep the story as short as I can, but it goes back to the 1980s. And back then, I used to race motorcycles, and my local racetrack is Brands Hatch International. It's a very famous racetrack. But I used to race motorcycles, and at the time, the world champion was Freddie Spencer, a very well-known American. He was he used to race in the 250 and 500 class, and I raced in the 250. So when my mates used to watch me race, because I think my best ever placing was about 10th place, nowhere near world championship status, they started calling me Fast Freddy because, obviously I wasn't Fast Freddy, and Fast Freddie Spencer being the world champion. And then at the time, I was racing a Yamaha motorcycle,
A
rather
Yamaha.
the Yamaha engine in
Yamaha.
a Chevalier frame. So I was racing the Chevalier Yamaha, and just one day somebody said to me, "What's your name?" And I always used the nickname Freddie. A lot of people in the 80s knew me as Freddie, and so the surname Chevalier just entered to the fray. And ever since about 1984, I've been known as Freddie Chevalier in many circles, and a lot of people don't even know that my name's Mark. And they've always known me as Freddie, and the stories get more ridiculous, but we'll save that for another time. But that's how Freddie Chevalier come up. And because I've got an enormous great mouth on me, and I keep speaking my mind on public forums such as Facebook, I get regular bans. They started off as 1 day, 3 day. I'm now on 7 days. The next one's going to be 21, 30, and then a lifetime ban. So what I did is I've set up these alter ego accounts, gradually adding people to that. so that if ever I do get a permanent ban, I just switch accounts and then I'll put my real name in, and then I'll do it again. I'll set up another account and so on and so forth. So as I get into old age, I'll always have a Facebook account. But it was quite incredible that about 10 minutes after they banned me, that Facebook actually fell over anyway, and I thought that was quite ironic and quite funny that they banned me, and then 5 minutes later they banned themselves.
So what is an alter ego account about? Is it like,
in other words, he has a fake
just
account.
Have many accounts. You can have many accounts in any name that you like.
Yeah.
It's just that obviously my secondary accounts, they got no photographs. I mean, my original Facebook account has obviously got, 12, 13 years worth of photographs and postings and videos and whatever. But my new account that I've just reactivated from a long time ago has obviously got no personal photographs and stuff, because there was no one there for me to post to. And now I'm just doing it for the future.
I had an alter ego account.
so Facebook knocks you off for having another account?
No. He got put in Facebook jail because he voiced his opinion on a certain forum, and Facebook didn't like what he said. So therefore, he has another Facebook account under a completely different name. That's his alter ego.
So what was the opinion that you voiced that they didn't like?
Okay, basically, and I'll put this diplomatically, there's a group of people in Great Britain at the moment that are protesting against the lack of insulation in public housing. So, like a council housing that's supplied by the government, etc. And so they've decided in their infinite wisdom to sit in the middle of our major highways and stop the traffic dead in its tracks.
It's kind of like when they had the protest down in Miami.
Ever.
They had that down in Miami.
Yeah, but what's happening is, they have got no support whatsoever, not of the government, not of the people or anything. And all they're doing is harming the average person in the street trying to get to work, whatever. But what they have been doing is they've been blocking things like emergency services.
Oh.
They think their cause is more important than that, in as much as, they block it. And there's a few videos on YouTube of distraught people saying, my mother's in an ambulance, they're going to the hospital, I'm following them. But they couldn't care less about that. So these big, burly builders and truck drivers decided to drag these people forcibly from the roads. And my comment was, I wouldn't just drag them off the road. I'd get involved with some amateur dentistry involving cricket bats. And that was effectively inciting violence. And
amateur dentistry?
Violence.
Wow. Okay.
And so I got a 7-day ban for that one.
What happened to the First Amendment, freedom of speech? My gosh.
Yeah. I don't know that we have the same amendments to that. We've got a thing called the Magna Carta that goes back a long time, which is our equivalent to. But no, there's freedom of speech when people want you to speak. But of course, Facebook is an entity all on its own, and it's very, very big, very, very powerful. I don't mind. I mean, it's free for me to use.
Did they set bail? Did they set bail for you? Do you have bail? I'll bond you out of Facebook jail if you want.
Well, my bail was just to have an alter ego, so that's absolutely fine.
All right, well, that works.
I have a cousin.
Appreciate your offer.
I have a cousin with your same. How do you pronounce that last name? Chevalier?
No, Chevalier.
Chevalier.
I have a cousin with that same last name.
Chevalier.
Only we pronounce it Chevalier.
Chevalier.
Yep, but
I've always called it Chevalier, just based on the motorcycle frame that I had my engine in at the time.
Sounds like he could be a wine steward. Chevalier.
Yes,
it's like a wine. I'll have a glass of Chevalier, please. It
does sound quite sophisticated.
It does.
When you say Chevalier.
It does.
But
I like it better than the other. I like it better than the other one. Mark Chevalier. I like that.
I like Mark Hales. Just like
everyone likes Mark Hales, but apparently I've got to be very careful with what Mark Hales does with his mouth.
Yeah, does your wife call you Fast Freddy?
No. She calls me, oi, you, this needs doing.
I like that.
It needs doing now,
geez.
right?
Well, that's our good friend Mark Hales, all the way from across the pond. Mark, we love you, and we thank you for calling
We
the
love
program.
you too.
And keep listening and keep doing what you do. Do the voodoo that you
Much
do.
love to your listeners, and I'll make sure that they know my new account as and when it's fully activated.
Please
and,
do.
and then I'll be out of jail anyway, in which case it will go dormant. But you'll all be involved in
All
my
right,
little
buddy.
shenanigans. Great speaking to you again. Bye-bye for now.
All right, bye-bye now.
News on the radio. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Time for birthdays, anniversaries back in the day. We got a few moments to get to that. Bonnie, what do you got?
Happy birthday, my beautiful stepdaughter, Topanga.
Oh, is today the day?
It is.
Did you find out if we could call her?
You know, I didn't have any time to text. I was
no.
I was too busy, seriously
Oh,
busy
no.
shopping for presents for her last night. So
Oh,
I was
no.
too busy to text anybody. But I got her a lot of nice gifts.
Cool.
And she's turning 16 today. Topanga, way up in DeLand.
Tell her I said happy birthday.
We will do
From the
so.
9 Clan.
Yes,
Please
we
do.
will.
I'll just excuse me. I'll just read the names that people know. Brie Olson. Remember that one? The Olsen twins?
Yes, I do.
35 years old.
Are you sure that's the same one?
I don't know. It just says Brie Olson. She was Charlie Sheen's head goddess during his meltdown.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she wasn't one of the Olsen twins.
No, then there's another
You're
Olsen
thinking
twin.
of Full House. This was one of the goddesses that was hanging out at Charlie Sheen's pad when he was going a little bit out there.
That's it. Taylor Hicks from American Idol is 45. Tony Braxton, one-hit wonder, Unbreak My Heart, is 54. Simon Cowell from America's Got Talent, all those different, the mastermind to all those great shows. Simon is 62 years old.
Yeah, he's a great-looking 62.
Yeah.
He
Vladimir
really is.
Putin is 69. How about John Cougar Mellencamp? 70 years old today.
I love his music. I saw him in concert, I believe, twice. Was it 3 times? One up in Madison, Wisconsin, and I also saw him down here at the Hard Rock Casino South.
He's incredible. He's a great artist.
He really is.
Very, very
but,
good.
But he never does I Need a Lover in concert.
I've never heard of that one.
I mean, I Need a Lover That Won't Drive Me Crazy. One of his earlier 1979. And that one, I always wish he would come out and do one more song with that.
Gotcha.
You know, I've never heard him perform that one in concert.
Today is National Depression Screening Day, so make sure and if you have if you're dealing with depression of any kind, seek professional help, because roughly 40 million adults in the United States struggle with depression or anxiety each and every day. So make sure and seek professional help. It's National Depression Screening
And
Day.
you can have the depression. You can have it separate, the anxiety. But when the two of them, depression and anxiety, get
That's
together,
rough. That's rough.
they are that's not your best friend.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's National Frappe Day. Frappes are a favorite for all ages and all ranges of taste. So make sure and go to your local coffee place and get yourself a frappe.
That's like a fancy coffee sort of thing. I saw a lot of people getting their frappe at Starbucks recently.
Francy schmancy frappe. Bonnie, I have a question to ask you. I thought I saw the phone ring out of the corner of my eye. I want to thank you for bringing your cat to work today.
Oh, yeah.
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 Not today. The cat's here.
Yes.
I like that. Even on your right arm.
You got
the cat's on your right arm.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Look at that.
Jack Frosty.
You've got a little bit of Jack Frosty with you today.
Yeah. And I forgot.
Look at that.
I forgot to get a lint roller when I was shopping for Topanga yesterday.
It goes with the shirt, though.
It does.
It goes with the shirt.
Jack Frosty came to work with me then. See this fine white kitty hair that
I
he has?
That. I noticed it was there.
It's all over me.
Yeah, and I like the shirt. Gee, I wonder where that came from.
That came from you for it was either Christmas or my birthday last year.
It was one of the two. Rachel picked that out.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Thanks.
It's a great go-to for the weekday morning.
Black goes with anything. It really does. You can wear anything with black.
It's safe.
It is.
Yeah.
Very. 7:21 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. So without further ado, let's go to the news desk. Bonnie's standing by with the morning headlines. Take it away, Bonnie.
Thanks, Evan. State and local law enforcement officials on Wednesday announced the arrest of a Vero Beach couple and pool business owners accused of stealing more than $2 million from upwards of 150 customers in South Florida and along the Treasure Coast. WPTV's Megan McRoberts broke the story yesterday and this update.
We started hearing from customers back in June saying that Amore Pools was taking just so long to finish their pools, or the work that was done would fail inspections. And now FDLE tells me that this wasn't incompetence. This was organized fraud that started, they say, even before Amore Pools Inc. was officially in business.
In the house, come out with your hands up. Sheriff's office, search warrant.
Neighbors of Crystal and Brian Washburn capture the moment FDLE charged with taking more than $2 million from nearly 150 pool customers trying to build the backyard of their dreams. Deb and Dan Nager were one of those families. They say Amore Pools Inc. designed this pool for them that checked all of their boxes. FDLE says Amore would snag customers by giving them a price far lower than the competition and a promise for a quick build.
And since we are of that age to retire, we thought, well, we'll do all our big ticket items while we're still working.
The Nagers say they gave Amore Pools a 25% deposit of more than $13,000 in July of 2020.
We found nothing on the Better Business Bureau, any website, nothing that would say that this was not a great company.
And according to the Nagers, work started out steady, but after paying $40,000 to Amore, this is what they'd still walk out to nearly a year later.
I can't have people here. I can't barbecue here. I can't hang in my pool.
FDLE says this was the pattern for Amore, taking large upfront deposits and payments, then abandoning the job.
After paying the deposit, some of the victims never heard from Brian and Crystal Washburn again. For some homeowners, Amore Pools dug large holes in backyards, sometimes making the foundations of the residents unstable.
The Nagers say they fired Amore in June, but even with a huge backlog of work, FDLE says they'd still look for new customers.
You can't just keep taking people's money and not getting stuff done.
In June, Indian River County's Board of Contractors voted to suspend their ability to build new pools until they could catch up on projects they already started, some that had been underway for more than a year. Do you have any comment?
I can't tell them to comment.
That's when I asked Crystal Washburn if she'd be able to catch up. Do you think you'll be able to get any work done over the next 8 months?
Yes, I do. I think we will finish every one of our customers' pools. That's what we started this business to do, and that's what we will continue to do.
But instead, FDLE tracked them going into counties where they weren't suspended or had their license revoked. Martin, St. Lucie, and the city of Stuart all took action to stop their permitting between June and September.
You're taking money from people, in my eyes, knowing that you can't perform.
But FDLE says that drove them to Orlando, Palm Beach, and Sarasota, which is why they say they hurried to make an arrest.
We wanted to stop the bleeding.
FDLE charged the Washburns with money laundering, which involved taking customers' checks to cash at check cashing stores and not depositing the money, making it harder to track.
We're never going to stop looking for the money.
They also say Crystal lied about and forged her credentials and references on her application to become a registered pool builder in the first place, in a packet approved by the city of Port St. Lucie.
They stole my joy.
The Nagers say that they are now among the many working with a new company to repair Amore's work and finally finish the job.
Let's just say that our retirement will be put off for 3 years.
Crystal's bond was set at $1.2 million. No bond was given to Brian. And FDLE tells me it is investigating whether Amore Pools illegally obtained PPP loans during the pandemic. I'm Megan McRoberts, WPTV News Channel 5.
The State Board of Education is voting today on whether to impose more financial penalties against the Broward and Alachua school districts for defying state rules banning mask mandates. Broward School Board Chair Dr. Rosalind Osgood says this is illegal and they will fight it.
I believe that it would be considered supplanting. If the federal government gives money directly to a school district, the state cannot, on the other hand, deduct that funding.
Orange County authorities maintain that Armando Caballero was responsible for the disappearance and death of 19-year-old Mia Marcano, but Sheriff John Mina says there was not enough evidence to detain the maintenance worker when he showed up at the Arden Villas apartments hours after she was reported missing.
Unfortunately, all these things that we're talking about wouldn't have prevented anything. She was already left dead at Timberscan Apartments before we were ever called.
There's actually Caballero was found dead the following Monday from an apparent suicide. There's a report of increased police activity at one of the major Florida sites in the search for Brian Laundrie, the fiance of the late Gabby Petito. Several unmarked law enforcement SUVs reportedly rolled into the swampy Carlton Reserve near the city of Northport yesterday. And lastly, a Stewart home that sold for over $6 million in September topped the Treasure Coast residential real estate sales amid the area's booming real estate. The 4-bedroom, 5,547 square foot waterfront property on the St. Lucie River was one of dozens that sold for $1 million or more last month. Jacksonville Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer says he never thought about resigning after the video of him at his Ohio bar went viral this weekend. The coach was caught on camera with a younger woman who is not his wife dancing close to him. Also in baseball tonight, the Tampa Bay Rays and Boston Red Sox are set to square off in Game 1 of their American League Division Series at Tropicana Field. News time at 7:27. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
$7:28 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie, how's it looking on the highways and byways?
As we're bringing up the latest, we do have an accident on I-95 northbound in Port St. Lucie. This is at mile marker 118 at the entrance ramp. I-95 northbound Port St. Lucie, there's not any backup from this accident on I-95 northbound. This is at Canner Highway, mile marker 101. No roadblock, what we're seeing, no traffic slowdown, but look for those accidents and a little bit of activity in the areas. There's your latest look at traffic. And right now, 77 in Stewart. It's 50 in Augusta, Maine this morning. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 70s under partly cloudy skies and some showers brushing the coastline. This afternoon, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, heat index values reaching the upper 90s to triple digits. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day with a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms, mainly inland. Friday, morning showers towards the coast with more clouds moving in, then scattered afternoon showers and storms with highs in the upper 80s.
I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Do you have a suggestion for the show? Send us an email, WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. And now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
7:32 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie on the Thursday morning edition. And speaking of Thursday mornings, it's time for our weekly visit with a gentleman that heads up the Stuart Martin Chamber of Commerce. Joe Catcherbone is joining us on our line right now. And of course, if you're not a member of the chamber, I say this every single week, you must be living under a rock in a cave somewhere, because if you have a business out there, you need to get a hold of Joe and his staff over at the chamber. The possibilities are endless. The networking is endless. Everything is endless. Small dollars for a huge return. You don't know what you're missing until you join up with the chamber. And of course, I'll disclaim that by saying that I do not get paid. I don't get endorsed or anything like that to say anything. I speak from the truth because I've gotten to know Joe over the last almost 2 years, and class act all the way, runs a class organization over there at the chamber. And with that said, I welcome him into the program once again. Joe, good morning to you from myself and Bonnie.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're excellent. Excellent this morning.
Good. I say this every week. I couldn't write or pay for a better testimonial than what you give, Evan. Thank you so much.
Well, it's true. I've gotten to know you over the last almost 2 years, and I hear all the great things about the chamber. I see what the chamber does. I've never been to one of your events, but I've heard about them, and it's just, I've got to get there. Bonnie's got to get there. We both have to get there. There's just,
you're going to be at the holiday trade show, so you'll be that might be the first one.
That'll be the first one, definitely.
That'll be really a good one, because we'll probably have about 300 people attend that.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I'm really excited to be a part of that.
It's our members are responding. I mean, we've already met our budget number for sponsors, and we expect to have about 50 exhibitors. So I know, like our business show, we had a waiting list, and we had over 50 exhibitors. So I'm sure this will be the same.
Yeah, definitely so, without a doubt. So what's been going on as of these days lately at the chamber? Tell us what's been going on.
Well, Cindy retired, although she's 30th was her last day. She was in yesterday, and of course she's still running our leadership program, which is leadership is today, which I'll be attending part of the day. It's History, Arts, and Culture Day.
Right.
So I'll be attending that this afternoon. Have you met our events coordinator yet?
Tell me about her.
Well, she's very much cutting the mold of Caitlin. She's young, and she's energetic, and she has a lot of great ideas, and you'll like her. I think she's going to do Morning Joe with us. It's either she or Angela will be doing it, but she will be. So she's never been in the chamber business. She did events for a art gallery down in Palm Beach. Events are events, but so the events aren't where the learning curve is. The learning curve is understanding what a chamber of commerce is. She really had no idea. Most people think chambers of commerce have cocktail parties and pass out maps.
Right, exactly.
So it's a learning curve there. And of course, Angela, who has had a vast amount of chamber experience, she ran the Hope Sound Chamber for 6 years. And so she's coming in, and she's going to be she's taking Cindy's place.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, as well as our new program, Career Connect. Martin, she'll be more or less overseeing that. We'll be hiring a person to administer that too. So we've identified a person we're going to hire. We're probably going to kick that probably in November. I'm guessing we'll kick off the Career Connect Martin County, where we'll be providing interns to businesses for 4 weeks paid. So we're kind of engrossed in that right now, dealing with the county to get our contract ready to go and kick that off in November. And of course, our own events, I just mentioned, We have the holiday trade show on November 18th, so we're pushing forward with that. We're also helping out with the Business Development Board luncheon on November 5th. In fact, yesterday the Business Development Board probably decided to, in honor of Charlene Hogue, who was an ex-county commissioner who unfortunately passed, named an award after her called the that's given to someone in the community who gives of themselves as a volunteer and goes above and beyond.
Right.
And I'm proud to say I was a recipient of that in 2013.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
So, thank you. But anyway, I was on the selection committee, our Charlene Hogue recipient this year. And so that was yesterday, and I was very honored to sit on that. And of course, we nominated 2 or 3 of our members they give other awards, Business Person of the Year, Entrepreneur of the Year, and things of that nature. So they'll all be announced on November 5th. All the chambers attend. It's a sellout every year. They sell out every seat in the house. So that's always a big event. It's on a Friday, and it's always a big event here in Martin County. So and then just going along, we've got that learning curve with Sarah. And even though Angela has had previous experience, she's still feeling her way around to learn how we do things here. And it's all good. It's very good. Our membership, I'm so happy. Our retention is really good. It's probably better than it's ever been. And membership development's still going good. Amy had a great week last week, bringing in new members. So it's all good.
Well, that's a good thing, Joe. What events do you guys have coming up in the near future?
Well, next Wednesday we have our luncheon, a monthly luncheon at Miles Grant Country Club.
Okay.
And on the 19th, we have our hospitality fair. This is the Career Connect Martin. We have a hospitality fair at the Flagler Center on the 19th, and we'll have people from the hospitality industry there,
right,
trying to recruit employees. So we'll do 3 or 4 of those events around the county. The first one is at the Flagler, and then I think the next one is down in Hobe Sound, and then we'll have one, I believe, in Jensen Beach, and another one in Indiantown. So we'll be moving those job fairs around the county to try and encourage people to get involved and get into the apprenticeship program and do things to help our members get employees.
All right. That sounds great. Sounds like it's going to be a good time. And of course, a big event coming up that you talked about that I'm going to be partaking in. Tell our listeners about that.
Well, that's the holiday trade show, isn't it? That's the one we're talking about, November 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, it'll be at St. Mary's, and it's where our business expo was. And we expect a sellout in vendors. We expect 50 vendors to be there, and at least 300 people showed up at the trade show. So we expect that, if not more, at the holiday trade show, because that sort of kicks off the holiday season. Everybody gets in the spirit, and it's a holiday trade show, and it's based around, obviously, Christmas.
Right. Joe, if people want to get a hold of you to become a member of the chamber, how do they reach out to you? Talk to me, and let's get the information out.
Sure. They can call me at 772-287-1088. My extension is 108. But as I say all the time, any of our staff could help you. You can even go on our website, stewartmartinchamber.org, and you could actually join online. And of course, as I always say, we'd rather not do that, because we'd rather sit down with the person who's interested in joining and let them know what benefits are available through the chamber and find out a little bit more about them than an application coming through. Although it doesn't happen often, but it happens occasionally where somebody, all of a sudden, bam, we have an application come in with a credit card number on it, and so, of course, before we process it, we call them, invite them in, and ask them to come in and sit down with us, and most times they do. So, or come on into our office, 1650 South Canner Highway.
All right.
We'll give you a cup of coffee or a Coke, a bottle of water, whatever. Sit down and talk to you about the chamber.
All right, that sounds fantastic. That's the gentleman that heads up. He's the president of the Stuart Martin Chamber of Commerce, Joe Catrabone, and he's a weekly guest on this program each and every week at this time, giving us an update on things happening at the Stuart Martin Chamber of Commerce. Joe, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll speak to you real soon.
Thanks, Evan. Have a good day. Bonnie, have a good day and good weekend.
You too, Joe. Thanks so much.
7:42 right now. News time once again. Let's get to the news. Bonnie is standing by at the news desk. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin for the best deals in town on precious metals. It's always St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Stop in and say hello to Hawk Levy. Bonnie standing by with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Port St. Lucie police are investigating a deadly shooting that happened late Tuesday night. WPTV's Derek Lowe has more.
This case just absolutely devastating for loved ones. After speaking with friends of Gabriella Hanley tonight, many of them expressing that they're just too overwhelmed with the grief to put into words.
It's really sad for the family. It's just so unfortunate, senseless.
Right now, Port St. Lucie investigators are trying to pin down just who's responsible for the late night attack that killed 20-year-old Gabriella Hanley.
So I called 911 and asked them what was going on, if it was safe for me to go out of my house.
Neighbors nearby say they heard multiple shots fired just after 11:30 Tuesday night near Green River Parkway and Charleston Drive.
It's shocking. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I've been here for 13 years and I've never seen anything around here that drastic.
Officers say Gabriella's boyfriend was also shot. He was rushed to the hospital.
The male victim is currently in stable condition, and he is cooperating with investigators.
Police say they believe the attack was targeted, but have not elaborated. No arrests have yet been made.
We believe the vehicle at some point was followed by the suspects, and gunfire was opened on the vehicle. If anybody has any information, I encourage you to contact the Port St. Lucie Police Department at 772-871-5000.
And officers refusing to release the name of Gabriella's boyfriend to us this evening. One area of focus, though, as they continue their investigation, combing through that car currently being held here at the Port St. Lucie Police Department. We're live in Port St. Lucie. Derek Lowe, WPTV, News Channel 5.
A Vero Beach woman convicted of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from tax clients is now a prisoner at a federal detention center in Miami. Last month, Jocelyn Antonia Lynch, age 40, who for 7 years held herself out as a professional who could help clients settle tax debts owed to the Internal Revenue Service, was ordered to prison for more than 5 years. During a hearing in Miami federal court in April, Lynch pleaded guilty to 8 counts of wire fraud. She also was ordered to pay $867,593 in restitution to her 16 victims who Lynch targeted for fraud from 2013 to 2020 by keeping money unwitting clients paid her to resolve IRS debts, according to federal court filings. Federal prosecutors who wrote Lynch caused very significant psychological and financial harm to numerous victims held out little hope that money will ever be repaid. Lynch operated a tax settlement business out of her residence, and some of her victims were out-of-state clients, while others were friends and referrals living on the Treasure Coast. She was arrested in October 2020 following an investigation led by Marco Carrillo, a plantation-based special agent with the U.S. Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration. There's a report of increased police activity at one of the major Florida sites in the search for Brian Laundrie, the fiance of the late Gabby Petito. Several unmarked law enforcement SUVs reportedly rolled into the swampy Carlton Reserve near the city of Northport yesterday. Defense attorneys for the confessed Parkland High School shooter Cruz are trying to explain their client's behavior during his trial for allegedly attacking a jail guard. Nicholas Cruz appearing in court with a page from a coloring book.
He's clearly upset. He's visibly upset right now. I'm trying to keep him calm during this trial. And the defense team is not doing this for any nefarious reasons. Trying to keep my client calm. He just asked for 2 minutes to himself.
But prosecutors aren't buying it, saying Cruz is trying to sway potential jurors about his mental state. A Florida lawmaker wants to improve state prisoner education programs and reduce recidivism rates as a result. WPTV Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders with the story.
Pastor Greg James is one of many reformers working to improve Florida's prison system in the upcoming legislative session.
We just cannot place people in prison and throw away the key.
A former federal inmate himself, James is constantly pushing state lawmakers to make a change behind bars. He says it'll cut populations, ease stretched resources, and drop costs.
Prison has a direct impact on all of us.
Lawmakers like Senator Jeff Brandes listening.
We have beat the drum louder than anyone for the last 6 years in the legislature.
The St. Pete Republican is term limited after 2022, but before he goes, has an idea to improve prison education. He's working with the Florida Virtual School to create a justice education division
that would expand the resources of Florida Virtual and allow us to, in a very scalable way, provide educations to thousands and thousands of people that are incarcerated.
Brandes hopes it could improve skills like literacy, as about half of the state's 80,000 inmates can't read at the 6th grade level. It's a hurdle to finding work post-incarceration. It impacts Florida's recidivism rate, currently around 24%.
One of the primary factors of people being able to get a job when they leave the prison system and not committing new crimes is the ability to read. And yet we spend no money, no real resources on helping people learn to read.
Brandes hasn't filed any bill language yet, but there's plenty of time before lawmakers return in January. And advocates for change like James,
we've got to figure out some ways to create some release.
Plan to keep up the pressure until then.
The Minnesota Supreme Court has denied former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin's request for a public defender. Chauvin, age 45, had requested a public defender to represent him while appealing his April conviction of killing George Floyd on Memorial Day of last year. The former police officer was sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison in June after being found guilty of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter for kneeling on the neck of Floyd for more than 9 minutes on May 25, 2020. The Supreme Court on Wednesday ruled that Chauvin is not eligible for a public defender. Lastly, for the first time since 1990, recreational anglers fishing in some parts of Florida will be allowed to take home a Goliath grouper for dinner. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission voted without dissent Wednesday to approve proposed new rules for a highly regulated gentle giants. When final approval comes at its March 2022 meeting, harvest could begin as early as 2023. The fish live in estuaries as juveniles, then move to reefs, rocky jetties, and bridges in deep waters as adults, which can weigh 300, 400 pounds. They have been protected in state and federal waters since 1990, when they were deemed to be overfished. NFL and network executives expected ratings to increase this season, but the rate through the first 4 weeks has still taken many by surprise. Games are averaging 17.3 million viewers on television and a digital whopping 17% increase over last season and 3% compared to 2 years ago. Whether the league can maintain that level of growth remains to be seen. Last season was played during the pandemic, mostly in empty stadiums. Also, many people's viewing habits changed in a presidential election year. The Bucs-Patriots game was NBC's second most watched match since it started airing the Sunday Night Football package in 2006. News time 7:51 with weather and traffic together next.
7:52 right now in the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie, what's going on outside?
There is an accident on I-95 northbound in Stewart. This is at Canner Highway, mile marker 101. This accident is northbound, but we don't see any tie-up or a real slowdown from that accident. Other areas, including some roads in St. Lucie County, everything looking fine this morning. There's your latest look at traffic. We have 77 in Stewart right now, and Port St. Lucie has 74. Here's more on our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 70s under partly cloudy skies and some showers brushing the coastline. This afternoon, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, heat index values reaching the upper 90s to triple digits. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day with a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms, mainly inland. Friday, morning showers towards the coast with more clouds moving in, then scattered afternoon showers and storms with highs in the upper 80s.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email. STUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
7:58 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie, and been an eventful morning so far. We're 2 hours down and one more to go. Coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. What's today? Today's Thursday, right?
Thursday, indeed.
Oh, wow. We get to freestyle it a little after the news today. So we get to talk about whatever we want because we don't have a special guest or anybody lined up.
Yeah, and lines will be open too. And of course, we have a huge news day today.
Oh my gosh, so much
just,
stuff.
Loaded with a lot of news and the traffic reports. We did have that accident this morning on I-95 northbound at mile marker 101. So that one accident right there. So we just want to keep you posted.
Yeah, definitely.
Throughout the morning.
If you want to participate at any time in the program, we'll do open phones at 8:05 this morning. Give us a call, 220-9788. That's 772-220-WSTU. We welcome your calls. We never turn down phone calls. We love all our callers and listeners, right, Bonnie?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next.
Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world. It's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer. It's Thursday morning, October the 7th, 2021.
So you partying hard or hardly party?
Well, a little bit of both.
I'm the king of goofing off!
All right, you're the king of goofing off, and we're the king and queen of the radio.
Is it too early for a drink?
Yes, it's a little too early to have an adult beverage. 8:07 is the time. Mr. Clockwitch has certified the time.
It's now 8:07 a.m.
8:07 a.m., just a little too early to have an adult beverage unless you like Budweiser. And then if you do, then, well, you might indulge.
Maybe a little Bailey's in your coffee drink or some Bailey's Irish cream at this time of the morning.
Have you ever tried that before?
I have. Oh,
do you like it?
It's sweet.
Uh-huh.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people only have it too around, those that don't drink the alcoholic beverages.
Mm-hmm.
I know a few people who will only have that maybe on Christmas night or New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Once a year kind of drinkers of that.
If you had your choice, if I were to offer you either a bottle of Bailey's or a case of Budweiser, which would you rather have?
I'll take the bottle of Bailey's.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Irish, nothing like some good Irish cream. And, usually that's a little more pricey. So, yeah, the Bailey's would do for me.
You want the expensive stuff.
Absolutely.
That's okay. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Rum chata's a good beverage, too. Creamy and like a creamy rum drink.
Ah, okay. Hey, we have open phones right now, so you're welcome to give us a call, 220-9788, 220-WSTU. What's on your mind? Give us a call. You can talk to us if there's a topic that you want to partake in or something you want to get our opinion on, or if you're kind of feeling a little down. Well, Dr. Evan and Dr. Bonnie are here. You can lie on our virtual couch, and we will gladly guide you and advise you.
Well, we're really not doctors here.
We pretend to be.
Just pretend to be like they do some people like in the movies or the TV shows like Grey's Anatomy. They pretend to play a doctor.
Or on General Hospital like Dr. Noah Drake, which was Rick Springfield.
That was another handsome one.
Yeah.
He was actually before the days of Grey's Anatomy. He might have been one of those handsome doctors that it inspired.
Yeah, he still looks good these days.
Good-looking doctors in Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. Have you seen him these days?
He looks old. Old? Did I say old?
I can't believe you just said that.
He looks a little older.
I'll just throw Rick Springfield under the bus.
He still looks like Rick Springfield. I always thought he was tall, dark, and handsome. Yep. Which brings me to this, Evan. He has dated, we know that he has dated the actress that played in The Exorcist before.
Linda Blair?
Yeah.
Really?
They used to be a very hot and heavy item at
No
one time.
kidding.
So,
oh my!
Which brings me to these movies where horror lovers can rejoice. The Halloween season here, and there's some interesting horror movie facts that you might not know. Like, do you think The Exorcist is probably the scariest movie of all time, Evan?
Listen, any movie that has somebody in it that their head does a 360-degree turn. I'm sorry,
As
but
they're puking out green?
Yes. I'm sorry, but I told you that my parents took me to go see The Godfather when I was a wee little tyke.
Yeah.
And when I saw that horse's head in the bed, all bloodied, that was done for me. I ran out of the theater screaming. I was mentally scarred.
Yeah, that will get you very emotional about that scene, too.
Yes.
Well, The Exorcist was the first horror movie to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar in 1974.
Really?
So it's a horror movie, yes, but it was actually an Oscar nominee.
Okay.
And here's an very interesting one about Carrie. And everybody remembers the shocking hand scene at the end coming out of the grave. Well, when Carrie's hand erupts from that grave in the last moment, the hand is that of Sissy Spacek because she was adamant about doing her own handwork.
Oh, wow.
And she even had to be buried underground to do it all.
No kidding.
So in Carrie, that's why that last scene at the end looks so scary and
Very
real.
Interesting.
Because it is kind of real.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of Halloween, I have a list of the top 5 candies that will get your house egged if you hand them out at Halloween, Bonnie.
Oh, wow. These like that candy corn that some of them hand out?
Well, these are made up candies. These are things that people would actually make up. But if you hand these out at Halloween, if you attempt to do this, chances are the kid will come back with an egg and throw an egg at your house.
So don't be handing this.
No.
You want to hand out the full-fledged chocolate bars like we usually do.
Yeah. So coming in at number 5, cauliflower flavored Skittles.
That doesn't sound very good.
No, that's disgusting.
I was out shopping in Tradition last night. Five Below. I was in Five Below. They had amazing amounts of
Five
Skittles.
and Below is a great store.
That's a good candy store, actually, to go to.
It's where to get all your Halloween candy.
Yeah. They have these little different things of candies. You can pick 10 out for like $1.
That's not bad.
No.
I'll have to go there.
Airheads, Wacky Tacky, and all that.
Coming in at number 4 of the top 5 Halloween candies that'll get your house egged over the Halloween holiday is, remember how they used to have Good and Plenty? Well, how about Good and Broccoli?
Actually, I wasn't a fan of Good and Plenty. Good and Broccoli almost sounds better to me.
Yeah,
Eat your vegetables, kids.
Coming in at number 3, they normally have Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh, love them.
Well, how about Reese's kale butter cups?
Right?
Like that one?
Chocolate with the peanut butter
Right,
inside with a
right.
little fresh layer of kale
Yeah.
in the middle.
Coming
Why
in
not?
Coming in at number 2, they normally have Starburst. How about Star Worst?
Star Worst.
Star Worst.
Yeah.
And number 1, candy corn dogs.
Yeah.
Candy corn dogs.
Well, it might
Corn dogs made out of the candy corn.
it might be even better than candy corn alone. Place of candy corn, at least the hot dog might
Have you ever
some
tried?
flavor.
Have you ever tried that candy corn stuff?
Oh, it's horrible.
That's nasty.
It's pure sugar. and
Gross.
It's like, I think it's the worst Halloween candy that you could really hand out in my mind.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's disgusting. We don't buy. I haven't seen that on the shelves in like forever.
Yeah.
I've got to go buy candy. Come to think of it, for Halloween.
Oh, you know what else I never really cared for either is those, they're kind of like, do I want to say almost like between a caramel and a peanut butter flavor? These candies are hard, but then they're chewy and they're just wrapped in the plain orange and black wrappers. Kind of
Not sure
hard
which
and
one it is.
caramelish.
Not sure which one it is.
Yeah, those ones never impressed me much either.
Hey, Bonnie, when people went and got their vaccine card, their vaccines, you were given your vaccination card that you're supposed to carry with you, or some people call it like a passport or whatever it is that shows that you're fully vaccinated. Well, here's the top 5 signs that's probably a fake vaccination card that you're carrying.
Oh, boy.
Fake vaccination card. Okay. Coming in at number 5, for starters, there's really no Y in the word Pfizer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to know
It's
how to
spelled
spell
wrong.
when
Yeah,
you
it's
read
spelled wrong.
that card,
It's
or
spelled wrong.
know how to spell when you're
Right.
getting out that fake card.
Right. Coming in at number 2, one of the vaccines is called Moderna. Well, on your vaccination card, it says the Madonna shot, the Madonna
a
vaccine.
Madonna one, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a virgin.
Yeah, exactly.
Pricked for the very first time.
Exactly. See, you should write a parody
The
about
little
that.
prick in the arm.
You should write a little parody. That's great. Coming in at number 3, they have the Johnson & Johnson shot. There's only 2 Johnsons. Well, there's no Johnson & Johnson & Johnson.
3-1.
3 Johnsons.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming in at number 2.
Who's that last Johnson?
I know, right? Coming in at number 2, wait a minute. You're looking and it says that you were vaccinated 5 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the wrong date on the vaccination card. And coming in at number 1, there's no such thing as the Astro Jetson vaccine. It says Astro Jetson vaccine on your vaccine card. Wow. Very interesting. Good stuff there.
Yeah.
Really good stuff there. Where else am I going to go here? I got so much. What do you got over there for me?
Oh, a couple of more movie facts.
Okay.
We had the Shining movie, which I might watch that this Halloween season. I'm always in the mood for a good classic Halloween. And Stanley Kubrick, producer of The Shining, allegedly he typed out all 500 of the all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy pages for The Shining.
Wait a minute. Say that again. I lost you there. All mix of what?
So he typed out all 500
of
the all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy pages. A dull boy.
Okay. All right.
When Jack Nicholson was in the huge hotel and he's typing down there, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Well, Stanley Kubrick actually sat down and typed out 500 of those pages to make it look so real for the movie. Interesting fact about if you're a movie buff of The Shining.
Definitely. So coming up tomorrow, we started a new segment last Friday, and we're going to continue on with that on Fridays at 8 o'clock. It's going to be called Bonnie's Best Bets for the Weekend, where Bonnie is going to give you some great tips on things that you can do with you and your family and your kiddos all around the Treasure Coast, right, Bonnie?
Yeah, we like to let you know what's going on.
Exactly.
It's going to, have football and movies sort of thing, events, all things fun and to do that you can put on a to-do list during your maybe already busy weekend.
Yeah, so definitely.
I don't know. Maybe you're not going to Disney and celebrating Disney. Maybe you're staying right here.
Too damn expensive.
Yeah, right. We're going to tell you what's happening right here in town.
Exactly. So make sure and tune in for Bonnie's Best Bets on the Treasure Coast. That's going to be on tomorrow in the 8 o'clock hour. Bonnie, I have the top 10 signs you don't have what it takes to become a police officer. Okay. Top 10 signs. Hector Inspector. Coming in at number 10, you're a bleeder and you faint at the sight of a paper cut.
Well, yeah.
Okay. You got to have a strong stomach.
That would be me.
Yeah. Yeah. Coming in at number 9, you think frisking people and giving mouth to mouth to someone your own gender is just politically incorrect.
Wow.
Coming in at number 8, a woman gives birth in the street and you give her a ticket for littering.
Oh, yeah.
Not good. Not good.
Yeah.
Number 7, at the scene of a riot, you refuse to get out of the car until the crowd actually thins out.
Everybody can disappear now. Then
and
this
then you'll get
officer
out.
will step foot out.
Yeah. Coming in at number 6, you're being called for backup, but you don't go because it's just too dangerous. You don't want to go. Coming in at number 5, gunfire actually hurts your ears. Coming in at number 4, when you see trouble brewing, your first reaction is just simply call 911 instead of handle it yourself.
Why not?
Number 3 is you can't drive really fast, check a license plate on your in-car computer, talk on the radio, and drink coffee all at the same time.
Because you might hit a bump and spill too.
Exactly. Coming in at number 2, sirens give you a headache. And the number 1 thing on the top 10 signs you don't have what it takes to become a police officer. Coming in at number 1, you need at least 8 hours of sleep every single evening. There you go.
You know what would be a good question to ask a police officer?
Okay.
And maybe the next time Brian is here.
Okay.
Like, say we, for instance, we're not police officers, and I still get terrified when I hear a police siren.
Really?
Or like if I see lights going on right in back of me.
Okay.
Does a police officer who's probably used to this sort of thing, when he is out not being on patrol, experience the same feeling?
That's a great point. That's actually a really good point, because me personally, I don't get nervous. I mean, all right, I'll admit, I do get a little, I'm like, when there's a police officer behind me and I'm driving down the road, I'm like, I'm careful when I drive.
You tense up a little bit, don't you?
I do tense up because I'm afraid, oh my gosh, I'm going to do something wrong and I'm going to get pulled over. So yeah, I do tense up. Or when the officer is like to my left or to my right, or even if he's in front of me and I'm behind the officer and the officer is not going the speed limit. So now I say to myself,
do I pass him?
Exactly.
Do I dare go any faster?
Do I pass him? Is he going to pull me over for speeding? What speed limit is he going? Does my speedometer match up with his speedometer?
That's a natural kind of emotion.
Yeah. All these things.
So do police officers
do
also
they get nervous when they're off duty? Yeah. Do they
Yeah.
do they get nervous when they're off duty? That's a great question to talk to the boss about.
We got to ask him. I wonder what he would have to say about that. Of course, he is only one officer. Now, it might vary from individual to individual.
We can also ask, Chief Deputy John Budensafe.
We could.
When he calls next week, if he's going to be calling, or even a better person, if the sheriff calls next week.
Yeah.
We could ask Sheriff Snyder that question. When he's off duty and he's driving, does he get nervous?
Yeah.
I don't think he would. Yeah, I mean, he's big time. He's the
pulled
sheriff.
over by his own deputy.
I know, he's big time. He's the sheriff. It's time for the Precious Metals Report. It's all brought to you this morning by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Let me open up my little gold machine here and see where gold is going to be opening up this morning. It says that gold is opening up at $1,759.40 an ounce, and silver opening up $22.70 an ounce. That's the Precious Metals Report, and it's all brought to you by our good friends at St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. $8:23 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning. Once again, the owner of a pool construction company that has been the source of customer complaints across the Treasure Coast was taken into custody late Tuesday, accused of defrauding $2 million from over 100 customers. Amore Pools owner Crystal Washburn, age 39, concocted a scheme to defraud homeowners by taking large deposits to build in-ground residential swimming pools, but never completed the projects, according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, which announced the charges Wednesday. Washburn faces 16 charges, including 7 counts of identity fraud, 4 counts of money laundering, insurance fraud, contracting without license, false statement of compliance, and scheme to defraud. Washburn, who lives in the 8300 block of 99th Court, was being held in lieu of $1.2 million bail at the Indian River County Jail on Wednesday. Her husband, who has identified himself as an employee, also was charged. Brian Washburn, age 34, of the 200 block of Columbus Street in Sebastian, faces 16 counts, including organized scheme to defraud. Some Florida school districts are reporting thousands of students whose whereabouts remain unknown. WPTV's Contact 5 investigator Katie Legrone with the story.
It's a little known, rarely talked about byproduct of the pandemic.
There are students that we literally cannot find.
And it's still hitting nearly every Florida school district.
There are still lost kids.
Yes, and kids that actually never came.
For some districts, the number of students who have fallen off the school grid and haven't shown up to class remains in the thousands.
Approximately under 2,000 students.
Probably about 10,000.
10,000 students in Broward County alone who the district currently can't find.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, yeah.
It's an issue that isn't entirely new to schools. Students move out of cities, the state, or even the country all the time and don't always let their schools know. But when the pandemic forced schools to close and many households to lose their incomes, some students never returned back to campus, contributing to the state's overall decline in student enrollment, which was down 3% last year.
It's unfortunate circumstances became this dire for families that these kids aren't in school.
The problem of lost students in Florida has become so concerning. In a letter to school districts last spring, the state Speaker of the House urged districts to work with every available resource to locate these missing children, We have a moral obligation to not allow any of these children to slip through the cracks, he stated. And this year, the state started requiring districts report how many unaccounted students they have, including those whose whereabouts remain unknown.
We do know from past history, some of these students, due to circumstances, have left the country, had to take on jobs to support their families. Some really difficult, tough situations.
With some 2,000 students still missing in Palm Beach County, the district has teamed up with the state attorney, child welfare, and the Department of Juvenile Justice to find its lost students. Social workers and case managers are being hired to help. And for the first time, the district has even hired an outside firm whose focus will be to hunt down these missing students.
Do you believe that most of them are in the district, or that they've left state, left country?
I think that's $1 million question, right?
Once students are found, getting them back to the classroom may not be so easy. The district preparing to take drastic measures if necessary.
We find families and parents are refusing to send their kids to school, that we do have to put a truancy packet together and to take these parents to court to let them know these kids do need to be in school. We hope we won't have to get to this point.
For now, the focus is finding these students and getting them back to learning, however and wherever that might be.
We are not in the blame game. This is about support, figure it out, get to the root cause, get the support in place, and get a family back on track.
Part of the search has and continues to be literally knocking on doors to find these students and get them back to learning, even if it means extending school hours for some of them, especially if they're holding down jobs. Katie LeGrone, WPTV News Channel 5.
There's a report of increased police activity at one of the major Florida sites in the search for Brian Laundrie, the fiancé of the late Gabby Petito. Several unmarked law enforcement SUVs reportedly rolled into the swampy Carlton Reserve near the city of Northport yesterday. Defense attorneys for the confessed Parkland High School shooter Cruz are trying to explain their client's behavior during his trial for allegedly attacking a jail guard. Nicholas Cruz appearing in court with a page from a coloring book.
He's clearly upset. He's visibly upset right now. I'm trying to keep him calm during this trial, and the defense team is not doing this for any nefarious reasons. Try and keep my client calm. He just asked for 2 minutes to himself.
But prosecutors aren't buying it, trying to sway potential jurors about his mental state. Lastly, the CDC is reporting just over 3,700 new COVID-19 cases in Florida on Wednesday. Florida has now gone 5 consecutive days with less than 5,000 new cases. It's back to the NFL tonight. We have the Los Angeles Rams at Seattle, and that game can be heard right here on WSTU. Tune in at 8 tonight for that game. High school football action on tap for tomorrow night. We have Sebastian at Port St. Lucie. Game can be heard starting at 6:45 on both our stations, WPSL and WSTU. News time 8:30. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
$8:31 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie, what's going on outside?
And we are bringing up the latest highway report right now from FHP. In just a moment, we want to get the latest right here to see if we still are seeing this accident. It's out on I-95 southbound, actually I-95 northbound, that is in Stewart. And this one is at Canner Highway. There wasn't any roadblock showing from that accident. A prescribed burn going on in the I-95 southbound area in Hope Sound at mile marker 94. A little bit of smoke right there. Use caution. There's your latest look at traffic. It's 77 in Palm City. Port St. Lucie has 76. Here's more on the forecast at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 70s under partly cloudy skies and some showers brushing the coastline. This afternoon, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, heat index values reaching the upper 90s to triple digits. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day with a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms, mainly inland. Friday, morning showers towards the coast with more clouds moving in, then scattered afternoon showers and storms with highs in the upper 80s. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the biggest little radio show on the biggest little planet, the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie.
8:35 on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. And without further ado, you know when you hear that sound, it's time to have the one and only Captain Randy Siegel on with the Space Report. Good morning, Captain.
Good morning, General.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. It was 1959 that Russia's Luna 3 returned the first far-side photographs of the moon to Earth. And then in 2002, NASA launched its STS-112 space shuttle, carrying a crew of Americans and a Russian cosmonaut into orbit. And then in 2010, they Russians launched their Soyuz TMA-01M. That was an upgraded version of their Soyuz rocket that had been, or Soyuz spacecraft that had been used for more than 30 years with the rocket. They replaced the regular computers with a new digital onboard computer. Well, the film crew, consisting of Klim Shapenko as the director and actress Yulia Persald, are on the International Space Station along with Russian cosmonaut Anton Sheplerev. They're beginning to film the new movie that the Russians will have. This film is about a doctor being sent to the International Space Station to take care of a cosmonaut who was ill and could not return to Earth. Well, the crew will spend about 12 days on board working on this movie, returning on October 17th, along with Oleg Novitsky from the International Space Station. It appears that the crew is in good health and everything is going extremely well with that work on the station. Russian President Vladimir Putin is not a big fan of independent media, and as a result, he has ordered space reports to stop on the Russian space program. He said that basic general information would be okay to a lesser degree, but basically there may be a blackout of a lot of information from Russia on their space program. The crew that's been on board the International Space Station continues to do their work. Mark Vande Hei, along with Commander Thomas Pasqua from the European Space Agency, spent half a day working on communications. Megan MacArthur and Shane Kimbrough assisted Vande Hei with cargo work inside the Cygnus module that's been attached to the station since August. The astronauts also used a cordless vacuum cleaner to take care of some of the debris that's around the space station and inside to prevent it from clogging any instruments that are on board. Akihiko Hoshide from the Japanese Space Agency spent time photographing tiny satellites that were deployed from the International Space Station's Kibo laboratory module. He was inside the cupola that allows a good view of what's going on. Novitsky also started collecting hardware for return to Earth inside the Soyuz MS-18 spacecraft that will be returning to Earth in about a week. The crew continues to fix up the station where they've had some problems with the treadmill, and they've also had some Ethernet problems. Well, they're working on those to correct those problems. They're also getting ready for a new docking module to be added to the International Space Station, the Preachel module. And the Preachel module should be added to the space station with a launch in November. Everything is going well with the training, and they're hopeful. NASA has announced the reassignment of astronauts Nicole Mann and Josh Cassada. They will now fly on the SpaceX Crew 5 Dragon mission as the Starliner falls further behind in its production and use. NASA is anxious to get some of the younger astronauts space experience as they move forward rather quickly. NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore, Mike Fink, and Suni Williams will continue working with Boeing as Boeing continues to straighten out the problems they've had with their Starliner. Spending their own money, about $410 million, to correct valve problems on the Starliner ahead of its next mission, which will be an unmanned flight checking out that vehicle. The hope is that Starliner will be in position to augment the Dragon space flights to the space station. We also might see astronaut Janet Epps added to that Crew 5 mission, which would take off no earlier than August of next year. Joined by Japanese astronaut Okada on that mission. The Japanese Space Agency has been forced to do the launch of its Epsilon solid fuel rocket with multiple small satellites. The reason for that delay is upper level winds are not favorable currently, and they've had to scrub the mission twice. Hopefully it can get off within the next several days. Talk about being way out there. NASA's Voyager 2 spacecraft, you ready for this, guys? Is currently 17 hours, 45 minutes, and 55 seconds of light travel time to communicate with Earth. That's awfully far out in deep space. China is saying that they're preparing a new set of astronauts to fly to their space station sometime around the 16th of the month. 3 toyconauts should be in position to launch to their own space station. Zhang Xiaoping, Wang Yaoping, and Ye Gufeng are waiting for final approval. This would add a female toyconaut to the cadre in space. Russia is also preparing for a future medical module to be launched to their space station. They believe that because of special medical needs that could inure as a result of long-term spaceflight, they have a medical module that would probably be used in the not-too-distant future. Russia also has received 2 potential orders from space tourists for additional flights. Tomorrow we're going to tell you about China suspending work on their Mars probe and another Chinese company ready for suborbital space flights. So until tomorrow, have a great day, everybody.
That's Randy Siegel with the Space Report. He's on the program each and every weekday at this time, giving you the latest and greatest pertaining to all things NASA. 8:44 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news, all brought to you this time by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. For the best deals in town on precious metals, it's always St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Here's Bonnie with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. And there is some breaking news. The Martin County Sheriff's Office this morning arrested 2 teenagers for threatening to blow up Martin County High School. The teens posted the threat on social media, and detectives found a gun in the bedroom of one of the students. The 2 are ages 17 and 14. They are in custody. Neither attended the school, according to the sheriff's office. Port St. Lucie police are investigating a deadly shooting that happened late Tuesday night. WPTV's Derek Lowe has more.
This case just absolutely devastating for loved ones. After speaking with friends of Gabriella Hanley tonight, many of them expressing that they're just too overwhelmed with the grief to put into words.
It's really sad for the family. It's just so unfortunate, senseless.
Right now, Port St. Lucie investigators are trying to pin down just who's responsible for the late night attack that killed 20-year-old Gabriella Hanley.
So I called 911 and asked them what was going on, if it was safe for me to go out of my house.
Neighbors nearby say they heard multiple shots fired just after 11:30 Tuesday night near Green River Parkway and Charleston Drive.
It's shocking. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I've been here for 13 years and I've never seen anything around here.
Officers say Gabriella's boyfriend was also shot. He was rushed to the hospital.
The male victim is currently in stable condition, and he is cooperating with investigators.
Police say they believe the attack was targeted, but have not elaborated. No arrests have yet been made.
We believe the vehicle at some point was followed by the suspects, and gunfire was opened on the vehicle. If anybody has any information, I encourage you to contact the Port St. Lucie Police Department at 772-871-5000.
And officers refusing to release the name of Gabriella's boyfriend to us this evening. One area of focus, though, as they continue their investigation, combing through that car currently being held here at the Port St. Lucie Police Department. We're live in Port St. Lucie. Derek Lowe, WPTV, News Channel 5.
Some Florida school districts are reporting thousands of students whose whereabouts remain unknown.
Pastor Greg James is one of many reformers working to improve Florida's prison system in the upcoming legislative session.
We just cannot place people and throw away the key.
A former federal inmate himself, James is constantly pushing state lawmakers to make a change behind bars. He says it'll cut populations, ease stretched resources, and drop costs.
Prison has a direct impact on all of us.
Lawmakers like Senator Jeff Brandes listening.
We have beat the drum louder than anyone for the last 6 years in the legislature.
The St. Pete Republican is term limited after 2022, but before he goes, has an idea to improve prison education. He's working with the Florida Virtual School to create a justice education division
that would expand the resources of Florida Virtual and allow us to, in a very scalable way, provide educations to thousands and thousands of people that are incarcerated.
Brandes hopes it could improve skills like literacy, as about half of the state's 80,000 inmates can't read at the 6th grade level. It's a hurdle to finding work post-incarceration. It impacts Florida's recidivism rate, currently around 24%.
One of the primary factors of people being able to get a job when they leave the prison system and not committing new crimes is the ability to read. And yet we spend no money, no real resources on helping people learn to read.
Brandes hasn't filed any bill language yet, but there's plenty of time before lawmakers return in January. And advocates for change like James,
we've got to figure out some ways to create some release.
Plan to keep up the pressure until then.
NFL legend Joe Namath has been spotted wearing a pink wig around Jupiter, but it's not a fashion statement. WPTV's Josh Navarro tells us why.
Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath is wearing a pink wig for the month of October in support of breast cancer awareness.
This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, man. That's the main reason. We want everyone to be aware what the situation is so we can help out.
It's part of the Susan G. Komen Foundation's Big Wigs campaign. It engages the community to join in the fight against breast cancer and ensure access to essential breast health services, education programs, and research to find cures. For Namath, the disease hits home.
I have a couple of daughters and granddaughters, and my mother the process, and thank God she survived and lived for several years after. So it starts at home.
Routine cancer screenings have since picked up, but still haven't reached pre-pandemic levels. A new survey from the Prevent Cancer Foundation shows 90% of women are visiting friends and going out to eat during the pandemic, but only 48% are visiting their doctor's offices.
5 cousins, actually, that have been impacted by breast cancer. And in just about all the cases, they got to it in time. But that means you have to get checked regularly and consult your physician and do something about it.
To get people involved, Namath is donating an autographed pink New York Jets jersey as part of a raffle to raise funds for local breast cancer patients. There will be specialty drinks at all 4 venues at Love Street, with the proceeds going towards the Susan G. Komen Foundation. And the area will also be lit up in pink all month long.
It's just a good time to give back. We've been through so much together as a community, and this is a great opportunity to have a little fun.
And of course, the fundraiser will go all the way through October 31st. In Jupiter, I'm Josh Navarro, WPTV News Channel 5.
And lastly, Disney World turned 50. So a mother and son who were there on opening day, way back in the day, went back and recreated a photo they took of Cinderella's castle in 1971. To think that mother and son at Disney World 50 years ago, and then going back there together once again. There's your heartfelt story for this Thursday. The Los Angeles Dodgers have defeated the St. Louis Cardinals 3-1 for the wild card spot and will face the San Francisco Giants in the National League Division Series on Friday. And, they did it with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th against the Cardinals. Both teams were locked in a 1-1 tie through 8 2/3 innings. And then it was Chris Taylor who homered to left in the bottom of the 9th to seal the deal for the Dodgers. A 2-run walk-off shot over the left field wall. News time, 8:51. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
8:53 right now in the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. What's going on outside, Bonnie?
Well, Evan, we did see that accident on I-95 northbound in Stewart this morning. Canner Highway at mile marker 101. There's not any roadblock from that accident. Otherwise, everything else is looking fine. It's roads in Port St. Lucie for the major highways right there. US 1 at the moment, everything up to speed. Maybe just look for a little bit of smoke with the prescribed burn going on I-95 southbound, mile marker 94 in the Hobe Sound area. There's your latest look at traffic. Port St. Lucie, we are up to 78 right now, and in Whitby, Yorkshire, England, it's a partly cloudy 64. Here's more on our weather at WPTV.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast calls for temperatures this morning in the under partly cloudy skies and some showers brushing the coastline. This afternoon, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, heat index values reaching the upper 90s to triple digits. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day with a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms, mainly inland. Friday, morning showers towards the coast with more clouds moving in, then scattered afternoon showers and storms with highs in the upper 80s. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
It is 8:57 on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. We have a phone caller. Hi, good morning. You're on the radio.
Well, good morning, you two. How are you doing?
Oh my gosh, we haven't heard from you in a long time. Wow, how you been?
Doing good. We're heading to Florida. Going to go to Disney World.
Disney for the Nifty 50? You're going to be there?
Absolutely. Well, yep. And we're going to meet up with friend George there because he was there on opening day too.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Opening day was George
50
there
years ago.
all the way back in 1971?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. George is in his 60s.
Did George visit that with his mom there too back in 1971 by chance?
I don't know.
No,
I'm not sure.
He was 17 years old, and it was a birthday present from some of his friends, and they all went up there.
Wow.
Neat,
Okay. All right.
neat.
Well, listen, we hope you have a great time, old man. And, you know, thanks for checking in. I wish you would have called a little earlier. We would have loved to have chatted with you, but we got to run because it's the end of the show, old man. So safe travels down to Disney World.
Oh, yeah. We'll probably give you a call maybe there on your show.
To hear from you live from Disney. Say goodnight, old man.
Okay, good night. Okay, good night.
All right, very good. That's a wrap for us, Bonnie. We're out of here. We're like yesterday's kitty litter, except we have a fresh batch coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, we sure do. And we're going to let you know about all of that entertainment news and
That's
things
right.
going on around town.
That's right.
tomorrow.
Bonnie's best bets
For that 8
a
o'clock
Friday.
hour.
That's
Yeah.
right. Hey, remember, if you have good values on the inside, you won't look for validation on the outside.
Take care. Drive safely. See you tomorrow, friends.
See you tomorrow, folks. Have a great day right here at WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station.